Hello, this is the Bible in fewer words. We are Carol and Steve Wells. This is episode 62, Numbers, chapter 20. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Carol.
We are only doing one chapter today?
That's right.
All right. Should we just get to it?
I think so. Okay, this is chapter 20, verse 1. Miriam died in the desert of Zin in the land of Kadesh.
That's a short obituary.
Yeah, they don't say anything about the circumstances of her death or that people mourned her or anything else. That's verse 1. And then it just goes right on to verse 2, as though nothing even happened.
You know what I'm noticing now? In the Bible, it often happens that there's no segue between one story and
Yes,
another.
for sure. It's one of the things that makes it a little bit hard to read because you go, hey, wait a minute, what are we doing here?
What happened there?
Yeah.
How did Miriam die?
Right.
More than where did Miriam die? But that's really all this is telling us.
That's all it's telling us. And then the next verse is going to say,
there was no water for the people to drink. So they said to Moses, we wish to God we had died when God killed our brothers. Why have you brought us into this wilderness to die? Why did you force us to leave Egypt to bring us to this evil place where there's no seed, figs, vines, pomegranates, or water?
Yeah, complaining again. They just never learn.
They should know better.
I can see why they're upset. It would be frustrating, but you'd think they'd keep their mouths shut because they know what happens.
Well, then my question is, doesn't Moses know this? What is Moses drinking?
Yeah, well, I think Moses, if anyone's going to drink, Moses is going to drink. I think everyone would die of thirst before Moses got thirsty.
Okay, so he is God's special guy.
Yeah, and he must have some water. And the other people, I guess, don't have so much.
I mean, they are in the desert, right?
Yeah, they are in the desert, yes, and have been for 40 years. We're now nearing the end of their 40-year period, their 40-year traveling.
Their 40-year exodus.
That's right. They're getting ready to enter the promised land.
A land of milk and honey.
But first, Moses has to address the problem of water. So in verse 6, it says, when Moses and Aaron heard the people's complaints,
what did they do?
They fell upon their faces. And what happened?
The glory of the Lord appeared to them.
Yeah.
So that's how you call God. You
fall on your face? I think so, yeah. And whenever you get upset in the Bible, you fall on your face. It's a thing you do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you tear your clothes, but you always fall on your face.
God said to Moses, take your rod and talk to the rock when the people can see you. Okay, the people are all gathered together, over 1 million people.
Yeah. Yeah, there would be a lot of people, over 1 million for sure.
And they're all going to see Moses at this rock.
Right.
And he's just supposed to talk to the rock saying, hey, it would be really cool if you gave us some water right now.
I guess so, but it's interesting too that he says, take your rod. He says, take your rod.
Take your rod with you.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. And talk to the rock. Doesn't say what rock, but he's supposed to talk to the rock.
And he doesn't say what he's supposed to do with the rock.
He doesn't say what he's supposed to
rod.
say to the rock. What's this conversation with the rock going to be about?
Yeah.
But
and why would you take a rod if you were not going to use it?
Yes. Well, we'll see how this works out.
Okay.
So God says water will come out of the rock so the people and animals can drink.
All right. Moses took his rod and gathered the congregation in front of the rock. He said to them, hear now, you rebels. Do I have to get water for you out of this rock?
Then Moses hit the rock twice with his rod, and water came out, and there was enough water for everyone to drink.
Well, that sounds like a happy ending to a story.
It does. That'd be a lot of water, too, because they had about 1 million people there, several million probably.
And animals.
And their animals. But there was enough water that came out of this rock.
So if I was Moses, I would think, all right, I did a good job.
Yeah, that's right.
Until
Yes.
God said to Moses and Aaron, because you didn't believe me when I told you only to talk to the rock, not to hit it, you won't enter the promised land. Okay, what did he do wrong?
Well, yeah, it's confusing, and I put that in parentheses when I told you to only talk to the rock, not to hit it. It doesn't exactly say that, but that's my best effort to understand what God is saying here.
So God is not happy with Moses.
Yes, it has something to do with him hitting the rock, that's for sure, instead of speaking to the rock.
And I'm trying to figure out what the difference is there. So Moses has this magic rod. Is that right?
Right. And God told him to take it with him.
Yeah. And so you'd think, well, this is how I perform God's magic tricks.
Yeah.
He did those, plagues and turned his rod into a serpent, all those things.
I think maybe what's bothering God here is Moses' words. He was supposed to speak to the rock, not to the people. But he spoke to the people here and said, do I have to get water out of this rock? Mm. And so it's the I maybe, because maybe he's taking the credit here for getting water out of the rock, and it's God that would be taking the credit. And it'd be more obvious maybe if he just spoke to the rock. I don't know why. I don't get that part.
A lot of people have spent a long time probably trying to figure out this problem.
Yeah, I'll bet nobody has really figured this out, because this is just too weird for anybody to figure out.
God wants credit.
Because we see now how they're going to be punished for it, how he's going to be punished for this, and weirdly, so is Aaron.
Okay, but before we do that, we have to say, this is the water of Meribah. So the water that came out of the rock, it's called Meribah water.
Yes. I don't know why that's important, but it's there. Yeah. But it is interesting in that verse, it says, God said to Moses and Aaron, because you didn't believe me, you won't enter the promised land. Mm. So neither of them, neither Moses nor Aaron, are going to enter the promised land because of what Moses did here, which was hit the rock instead of just talking to it. But I don't know why Aaron is going to die here, because Moses hit it with a stick. Mm-hmm. But anyway, he's being punished for it too.
So this isn't really a scapegoat thing.
I don't think so. I think it's just, I don't know.
Blaming the wrong guy.
Guilt by association. I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me. But he's going to get blamed for it too.
Well, Aaron has gotten away with doing bad things and not being punished.
He certainly has. Got off just scot-free, right, for making the golden calf, and also for challenging Moses' authority with Miriam.
That's right. He didn't get leprosy.
He didn't get leprosy, yeah. So maybe he's being paid back for those bad times before.
Okay. So where are we now? Verse 14.
Yes. So this is something completely different, and it changes just all at once.
Oh, no segue.
Nope.
Moses sent messengers to the king of Edom, saying, "Let us pass through your land." The king of Edom responded by saying, "Don't cross our land. If you do, we'll fight you with the sword."
Yeah, and the Edomites are going to be the neighbors of the Israelites for the rest of the Old Testament. And they're going to be fighting off and on. The Edomites are supposedly descendants of Esau, Jacob's brother.
Yeah, God didn't like Esau.
God hated him, actually. The Bible says that he hated Esau for some reason. So I suppose he hates his descendants too.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're not going to let them cross their land. And then we're going to go on to something completely different.
Before we do that, can I say, couldn't they go around the land of Edom?
It is kind of in the way.
Because, they've been going around stuff for 40 years.
Yeah.
Now. Doesn't seem like...
Yeah, I think they should probably be able to find a way, right?
Yes.
Somehow. But they are right next to the land, just to the east of the land of Canaan. Okay, verse 23. God said to Moses and Aaron, "Aaron will die here. He won't enter the promised land, because you rebelled against my word at the water of Meribah. Take Aaron and his son Eleazar to Mount Hor. Strip off Aaron's clothes and put them on Eleazar. Then Aaron will die there."
All right, so this is bizarre. How does this follow from the Edomites fighting them?
It doesn't.
Okay. That's all I needed to know.
Just a totally different thing. But it does kind of follow from the little story that we had before that.
Yes.
With the water rock thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so Aaron's going to die because, Moses hit the rock and all that.
So God's going to kill him.
Yeah. The strange thing is he's telling Moses, and Eleazar is the son of Aaron, to go up on the mountain, Mount Hor. Mm-hmm. And then up there they're going to strip off Aaron's clothes.
Before he's dead.
And yes, and then he's going to die. So the poor guy is going to be dying naked there. Kind of a humiliating death, I would think.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you wait till he's dead and then take his clothes off him?
Because maybe it's harder to get the clothes off on a dead person.
Dead weight.
Yeah.
Really moving around.
Right. So I guess they just said, take your clothes off, Aaron, and then you're going to die.
Or have him switch clothes with Eleazar before they go up on the mountain.
I don't know. And if they're the special priestly vestments that we're talking about here, they're not supposed to be worn outside the temple anyway. So what's he doing going hiking with?
Right. He should have been wearing his hiking clothes.
Anyway.
And Aaron's going to die up there, so God's going to kill him.
Yeah. Well, I didn't include Aaron in God's killings, in my list of God's killings in the book, Drunk with Blood. I debated it, but I decided since it doesn't explicitly say so, and he is 126 years old or something like that.
So it could be natural causes.
Could be natural. I mean, God just knows he's going to die.
Yeah, I guess it could.
Yeah.
So they went up Mount Hor as God commanded. That is an aptly called mount, isn't it? It sounds almost like horror. That would be pretty horrible.
Or the whore, right?
Or the whore.
Yeah.
Moses stripped off Aaron's clothes and put them on Eleazar, and Aaron died there.
Yeah.
Also, a short obituary.
Yes, that's right.
Miriam dies. We don't know much about her. We do know more about Aaron. He got away.
Yes, we do know a fair amount about Aaron, yeah.
Yeah, got away with murder.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Huh. Okay.
Well, almost. Maybe he's catching it here. I don't
Maybe.
know. Yeah.
So, that's it. We're finished chapter 20.
That's right.
That was kind of some interesting stuff, though.
It was.
Not a boring episode.
No, and we've got more fun stuff to come in the rest of Numbers.
Oh, but we are almost through Numbers.
Well, we've got a ways to go. But yeah, we're getting there. We're more than halfway.
Cool. All right. Well, do you have any goodbye statements for our listeners?
I don't. Just see you next time.
Mm-hmm. I do want to say we want to thank Martin Watkins.
Oh, yeah, there's that. Yeah.
And I want to say thank you. Thanks for sticking with us. We hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.